Okay guys, we're going to talk about auto white balance. This is camera talk. So, I'm going to rephrase this a little bit here. But anyway. So, I'm getting these topics from ChatGPT. Just being honest here. But it says why I stopped using auto white balance. That's not true, so I'm not going to say it that way. Even though ChatGPT wrote it that way, I'm not saying it that way because I still do use auto white balance. But what I will tell you is here are some pros and cons to using auto white balance. So, it might work. If you're doing stuff running and gunning on the fly, you're not really messing around with your camera settings a bunch, and you just want to film and just kind of focus on the filming, not as much on the camera settings. And you're changing environments and lighting scenarios. Auto white balance might be the way to go, but keep in mind there might be some things that maybe sometimes don't look exactly how you want them to look, or how maybe you think that they're supposed to look or whatever. So keep that in mind. But if you can control the scene, like if you are in control of the lighting and stuff like that, the color, whatever, then maybe consider using one of the white balance settings, whether you know what lights you're working with. Maybe there's a setting in the white balance that works for that. Maybe there's a setting that works for where you are outside for the specific time that you're shooting. What I've done in the past is I've either set the white balance manually with the Kelvin settings. That's a number basically between, like, you know, the Kelvin number, depending on if it's higher or lower. It might look, you know, warmer, like as in more orange or more blue. I think usually, I'm not going to say which side of the Kelvin meter is more blue and which side's more orange, but feel free to look that up for yourself, because I thought it was a certain way, but then on one of my cameras I think it was reversed. I think maybe on my Canon 5D Mark II, for some reason it's in the reverse direction, but I could be wrong, or maybe Magic Lantern did that, or maybe I got all that detail wrong altogether. But on my small rig light at home, I believe that the lower the Kelvin, the more orange, and the higher the Kelvin, the more blue. Somewhere in the middle is probably like white, you know. No, I believe that that's exactly how it works. I don't know exactly what number is like more like regular daylight blend. But anyway, consider either setting the Kelvin number, and you could just match that Kelvin number to your lights, unless you want to do it a little bit of a different number for whatever reason. You could also, depending on the camera, maybe use a white card, or like what Marcus Picks on YouTube said, is just like a piece of paper, like a piece of printer paper. I think he has his crumpled. I don't know if that's intentional, but feel free to look at his YouTube channel. Maybe he talks about that more. Anyway, so these are different things, right? Consider these things. So yeah, auto white balance, when to use it. When you are just running and gunning, you're just trying to get the shot, and you don't want to be messing around with settings too much, auto white balance. If you're doing more of a controlled filming, consider maybe using different settings, or manually setting the white balance with the Kelvin number, or if your camera can white balance based off of a reference, right, like using a white card, or like Marcus Picks was talking about, that white piece of paper. Consider doing it that way, right? Because then otherwise, if the white balance like shifts or whatever, and all of a sudden some of your footage looks more blue, and then later on it looks more orange for some reason, even though nothing, or even though you didn't purposely do that or try to do things to make it do that, whatever. So keep these things in mind. If you got any more questions, I got a Skool Community, link in description. Please consider joining. If you got questions, join the Skool Community, ask the questions there. All right. 7-day free trial for the Skool Community running right now. Running right now. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good day.